Africa is in grave crisis. Africa is in deep trouble. And the worst thing that I'm learning is that the United States government has a hand
right in the middle
in a lot of the wars
That is true.
that are going on the African continent.
That's quite right and clear.
And you don't know these things sometimes, you know, as American people. We really believe that our government really is for the home of the free and the land of the brave or whatever. That's a song. But the reality I would like to share with you today. I visited these heads of state and I listened carefully to their words. The slaughter that took place of the Hutus by the Tutsis in Rwanda was something that the government of the United States could have stopped. You notice when there's ethnic cleansing in Kosovo, where these are white people, there's some immediate concern. But nearly 1 million people were killed. Human beings.
That's right.
The Tutsis are a very beautiful kind of people. You know their word Watutsi? In years gone past, they were very tall, stately people. They're a little shorter now, but that before they were like 7 feet tall and they have keen features. And the Hutu are a different tribe that looks more, the anthropological definition, they would be more negroid, with a broad nose or thick lips, and they are kin to the Bantu, and some of them are the Pygmies and short. And so there were always differences. But when the Europeans came, they seized upon these differences. And they educated the Tutsis and made them the civil servants. And the Tutsis began to oppress the Hutu. Much like in the United States, when the slave master would mix his blood with us, and we would come out light with straighter hair or more features near the Caucasian, they would make us to think we were better than our darker brother. And so in places like Washington, D.C., where the lighter ones were the civil servants and the, you know, and had positions of somewhat more privilege, you would say, we then, who were lighter, started oppressing our darker brothers and sisters. It's the same system in South Africa, where the whites mix with the blacks, and then they call these coloreds, and they separate them from their brothers and sisters who are dark, and they treat the lighter ones better so that they begin to think they are better, and then that thought that I am better because I am lighter leads to a system of oppression of the darker or the weaker tribe. Do you follow what I'm saying? The British used borders even, taking land from one nation, giving it to another, so that when liberation or freedom would come, border wars would start. So Britain and America could sell weapons to both sides.
That is true.
The people are dying in Africa mainly from American weapons.
Yes, sir.
Now, of course, the British and others sell them weapons too, and Russia as well. Now, in the Great Lakes region, you have a man coming to the throne of power in the Congo, what was formerly known as Zaire, the richest part of Africa, right there. When Lumumba became the leader of the Congo, it was a part of U.S. government policy that Lumumba should be killed. Lumumba was a socialist. And Lumumba had in his heart to share the wealth of the Congo with the people who lived there. That means he was a threat to the mining interests. So they killed him. Mobutu came to power. The name was changed from Congo to Zaire. And Mobutu became a tool of the government of the United States. On one of my friendship tours, I visited Zaire and had long meeting with Mobutu before he died. And Mobutu was hurting because he did what America wanted him to do, and in the end, America kicked him to the curb. And that man was in wealth and splendor, but it became a prison to him because he was all by himself. America used him and then dumped him. So now enter Laurent Kabila. Laurent Kabila was a fighter that I met years ago in Tripoli, fighting in the Congo to overthrow the government of Mobutu. Museveni in Uganda and the people of Rwanda backed Kabila in his war against Mobutu, and he became president. But there again, the Tutsis, the brother that was his foreign minister was a Tutsi. And that attitude, Kabila is black with thick lips. He's what they would call very Negroid. But the Tutsis have that spirit. Like some of us haven't gotten over the color question yet. Did you hear what I said? And all your religion and all your preaching and all your Holy Ghost gathering, you haven't gotten over the sickness that white supremacy produces. Yeah. And it is seen in other members of the human family when you deal with the black. You deal with black people from a position of superiority, not because you are in fact superior, but because historically and culturally you have been poisoned to think because your hair is straight or your color is light that you are better than your black brother, and Islam has not corrected this. You didn't hear me. I know my Muslim family always loves to say, Islam does not preach color. You tell that. You're right. Islam don't, but you do. Islam doesn't, but the practice of racism is in Christianity. It is in Islam. It is in Judaism. It is in socialism. It is in communism. It is in the Masonic Lodge. Everywhere you go on this earth, we have been poisoned by the poison of white supremacy and black inferiority. That's real. So Laurent Kabila told the Rwandans and the Tutsis and the Ugandans who were trying to dominate him that they should leave. And they said, all right, we will leave, but remember, we brought you to power. Because he had an idea like Lumumba, he's like a son of Lumumba, he's dangerous to Western imperialism. So America finances Rwanda, and Uganda in a war to unseat Kabila. So Mugabe of Zimbabwe, Dos Santos of Angola, and Nujoma of Namibia joined to stop these forces of imperialism from taking the capital of Kinshasa. Now Mugabe is an ugly man in the Western media now. He was a darling yesterday, but he's an ugly man today. Do you know why? Because he now is embroiled in a struggle to take the land back from the Europeans that came to Zimbabwe and took the land. In my notes, 50% of the arable land in Zimbabwe is in the hand of Europeans. And the people who fought with Mugabe to free the land found themselves politically independent, but as long as the whites owned the land, economically, they were strapped. So after 20 years, the armed forces said, look, we fought for this. You just can't allow these people to have the land like this. We're going to go on the land and take the land. So Mugabe had to stand with them because it's proper, it is right. And the British promised that they would pay the farmers so that they wouldn't lose, so that when the land went back to the original owners, the Zimbabweans, that the whites would not go out as losers, and they could either stay or go back to England with some money in their pocket. Now they have a democracy bill going that has passed the Senate of the United States for the government of America to sanction Zimbabwe because they dared to take the land back from the whites.